It is the worst trading system I have ever seen in my life. If I could take a pigeon and put the item in the legs of the pigeon and it goes flying to the house of the dude to get him the item, it is better than this system that we have. So guys, I have a fragment here from the interview that CGG did with GGG, with Jonathan and Mark, when the PoE 1 expansion was coming out, the reveal for the PoE 1 expansion. And this was a long interview where they discussed a lot of things. But the important fragment that I have in here, we are of course just going to focus on a little bit, just one question out of the interview, which was regarding to trading. We all know that trading sucks in both PoE 1 and PoE 2 because they have the same trading. Trading sucks in Path of Exile, period. This is like, I rant a lot about the game, but this is probably the topic I ranted about the most. And I will continue ranting about it until they do something about it, dude. So, let's see what they have to say in here, which is the latest thing they have said regarding trading. Let's go. Dude, over 60% of you are not subscribed. Why? Why are you like this? Just click the sub button, dude. It is quick, it is easy, it is free. You get content, I get a sub, win-win situation. Just click the sub button, my dude.
It's been a while since we talked about this, but with a discussion about gold and the currency exchange, I feel like it's worth revisiting. Just like, how do you feel that the old trade manifesto holds up from way back in the day? Like now, in light of,
I would say that the currency exchange, like,
they are referencing this trade manifesto that I have right here. I am going to make a separate video reading this manifesto because it is a long post. We are not doing it right now. But this is what CGD is referencing with that question. And this was posted by Chris himself, the guy that created Path of Exile, Chris Wilson. He made this manifesto, but this was in 2017. We are 8 years after this. Things might have changed. Maybe they think some things are different. So that is why he says, since the manifesto, what is different? Let's see what they say about it.
like kind of definitely shows that there's a, I mean, it's not like we didn't know there wasn't demand for instant trade, right? But the currency exchange definitely helped things a lot. And I know that we still want to do more stuff. Like,
Let me tell you, I didn't play PoE 1 before there was a currency exchange, because I started with PoE 2, which started already with a currency exchange. And I think even with the currency exchange, trading sucks. I can't imagine life before the currency exchange. How did you guys play this fucking game without the currency exchange? So if you wanted to trade chaos for divines, you had to do a trade with a player. That is too much of a fucking pain in the ass, dude. That is impossible to play the game like that, bro. What the fuck?
I've kind of talked a little bit before about how there's other things we want to do, and I still think we want to do it. The main thing is that, yeah, like the gold allows us to make it so that there can be a cost that isn't the cost of having to do the actual trade with, you know, like individual other people. And so I do think there is a world where we can go to, like, where we can have a different system. We'll probably prototype that in PoE 2 first, I reckon.
Nice. Thank you very much. That is the way to go. That is what I want to see happening.
You know, we still don't have a permanent standard economy that, I mean, okay, in PoE 2 we've got an economy that will exist forever, but that's not going to be standard, right? Because that'll be the early access economy that will stick around. So we've still got an opportunity here to completely damage the economy without while being able to recover from it. Yeah.
I know from my perspective, when the currency exchange came out, I was like, after we played, and it was such a relief of friction that I was like,
you were like, oh, this is all we ever need.
Maybe this is enough. And then now after, and obviously then it started coming back a little bit, then playing 020 on PoE 2, and then going and trying to trade for more items, I was like, I'm reminded of all.
You are feeling the pain, Mark, just like us. Guys, remember that Mark was a player first and then became a developer. That is why I have hopes that I can work at GGG someday. But he was first a player and then he became a developer. What does this mean? That he still plays the game. He still feels the same pain players feel. So, dude, you are feeling the pain that is trading in the game. Do something about it. Who can do something about it if it is not you, dude?
All the frustrations. I'm like, we definitely need more than just the currency exchange. So,
Right.
I would say we scoped it out. We wanted to see if it was better enough, and then I was just like getting beyond angry trying to trade, and I'm like, why is the whole server AFK? You know?
I think it might have been.
You have to whisper 20 people to get one response back, dude. What the fuck, dude? And the same goes the other way around. You are selling an item, and because the dude is spamming 20 people, when he whispers you and you invite you, maybe he got the invite from another dude and got that, and you also lose the trade from that way. Like, for both ways, it sucks dick. And this is just one thing that sucks about it. There is a lot having to go out of the map, having to whisper the dude, having to go to a third-party website. Do I even have to list all the things that suck with this trading system? This is the worst trading system out of any game that I have ever played in my fucking life. Going to the house of the dude that is doing the trade and trading in person will be better than this shit.
PoE 2 because
I
of
think,
more new players.
So
what I found in PoE 2, a fun little trade thing, is when I first started, people didn't know. Go to you invite them, they come to your hideout.
Basic etiquette
and I'm like,
stuff.
Are you coming? What's going on? And then they're sitting in Act 2 town, just like waiting for me, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, but what I was saying was that if you played and you traded in Path of Exile 2 in the first 2 to 3 weeks, this was completely true. There was no trade etiquette because everybody was new to the game. So people didn't have, like right now it is already cemented. People already know how to trade. But the very first weeks, people didn't know. So you would go to the other guy's hideout. If you had the item, you would trade, like exchange trade. Like right now, you are expected to whisper somebody for the trade and they invite you. Brother, when I started playing, I invited people. I didn't give a fuck. And that is considered rude, right? I didn't know that. Stuff like that, stuff like that. Even in old school RuneScape, they added the Grand Exchange. People don't want our trading system. The Grand Exchange is fucking cool. I love the Grand Exchange. Something like that in PoE will be really cool. And what I mean is not only the auction house style that the Grand Exchange has, but that you have to go to the place and you see all the players in there and people are spamming and having parties around the Grand Exchange. You see that in old school RuneScape all the time, right? People are doing whatever the fuck around the Grand Exchange. Do a place like that in PoE 2. People go to the Grand Exchange and that is the auction house or whatever, but there are lots of players in there and they are partying and showing their cosmetics or whatever the fuck,
Okay, I get it. No one knows that you just go to your hideout. That's a new thing to have to learn.
Oh, and it's shifted as well. Like weird new kind of like things of like culture things have grown out of that. Just like kind of independently from different like new people versus pre-existing PoE players, and it's become a strange little.
It's
thing.
real fun to watch, eh?
It's an interesting little social experiment thing going on, isn't there? But yeah, I think like I think what you've touched on there is that it does just kind of raise the question of like, oh, where should the friction be? The friction being in gold feels really good. I think
that is exactly the thing that we would prefer, right?
Yeah.
The thing that's going to be the question is that if gold is the only friction, it still needs to be that the cost of it is enough. So the thing that the trade manifesto talks about basically is you get this.
By the way, if gold is the thing that creates the friction, I am fine with that in PoE 2 because you can sell the gear for gold. And sometimes you have tons and tons of useless rares. You just dump them to the vendor and you get a lot of gold. Easy to make gold like that, right? Passively, you just pick up rares, random rares that you normally wouldn't pick with your ultra strict filter. You start picking up a little bit more rares, you passively sell them, and you always have gold. Awesome. In PoE 1, that you can't get gold that way, maybe they would have to make the fee that you pay in gold lower to mitigate that fact. Because in PoE 1, if you try to sell a rare to a vendor, they are going to give you a fucking wisdom scroll,
Issue with you don't get it with currency. So doing it for currency is actually fine because currency, you know, it acts as a sink. Like it is currency, so it's okay to have like fluid trade for that. When you start getting into items, then you start to have that issue where the stuff at the top is worth like astronomical amounts, and the stuff at the bottom is worth nothing. And like any trade will cause that, but the easier trade is, the more you get that. So you kind of got this like, you know, if trade like
if you doubt this is the case, you have to just look. This is true, by the way, and I know this is one of the arguments that people use against the auction house. I just think it is not enough of a strong argument, because to me this is not a strong enough drawback that replaces the stupid trading system we have right now. Like in the two wars existing, I prefer that war existing. But also this is true that this happens, and you just have to look at the actual trading in Path of Exile 2. You will realize that you can get a competent character that can clear the content with 1 to 10 divines, but then after that, if you want to upgrade even one piece of gear, you will need 50, 100, 200 divines. Like the difference between the entry gear and the high-end gear is like he's saying, right? Like the normal gear, hey, it is cheap, everybody can have it, but the next step, it is not like you can go little by little, no. It is you get from here and then over there. It is crazy, that is true. and I seen it in the normal trade we have right now, which with an auction house would be even more amplified. I know that, but at the same time, do I prefer that than the bullshit that we have right now? Yes, I do prefer that, because it is already happening to a much lesser degree, to be honest, but with a stupid system. Well, if I am going to have that either way, let it be amplified, but have a good trading system, you know. Gotta go now, my dude. I hope you have a great stream. Hey, dude, Alcan, my brother, thank you for stopping by. I hope whatever you have to do goes great, dude. Thank you for hanging out, my dude.
It was very hard. You get like a flat line. You can turn into more of an exponential growth curve as you as trade becomes easier and easier. So effectively, you just have to make sure that we're hitting the right point. And what I worry about, and this is one of the things as well. If we first do something like this, we're probably going to have to price the gold cost pretty high as a starting point,
for sure, yeah.
and then kind of maybe back it off as we see like what the effect is. Because
go ahead for it, dude. I don't care if I can only make 1 or 2 trades a day because the goal is too much. Go for it, but at least the trade will be performed in a cool way.
If gold is the only...
Also, you create another axis in the game, which is gold farming. I know people already try to farm gold for the currency exchange and for respecking, but that is not enough. There comes a point where you have tons of gold, and trading in the currency exchange and respecking becomes irrelevant because you have too much fucking gold. This will be another axis, not only to spend gold, but also to motivate people to farm for gold, to pick stupid rare items, to sell them for gold. Like you create another axis of gameplay.
Barrier, then you're going to see those that kind of issue.
Well, gold's like a direct kind of translation of your like play time / play quality, your efficiency to that trade capacity.
So the fact that it works that way, where it's effectively character, like bound to you, effectively means that we can use it this way, and that's kind of the difference between us and other games. So I think it will work, but it's like we just have to be very careful. 100%.
Because I 100% get like the concern about it, because this is about like what you're actually putting on your character and circumventing whether you actually do any gameplay for that. But this makes it so that you are doing gameplay for that, and it's an alternate method. And
so we have to be careful, especially in the early game, where if you can just get something that some high level player just doesn't care about anymore, so they sell it for nothing.
By the way, if you guys didn't know, people trade gold. You can't trade gold directly, but how do people do it? You can go to TFT, for example, the Forbidden Trove Discord channel that is for trading in Path of Exile, and you trade gold in there. How do you do it? Basically, people give you a full inventory, a full quad tab of random bullshit rares, and you go and you sell it to the vendor and you get a bunch of gold. And this is really cheap, by the way. I don't remember numbers, but you can get like a full quad tab inventory for 10, 20 exalted, some bullshit like that, and you get 1 million gold from there. I don't know, like it is really fucking cheap. So people do trade gold just in an indirect manner. But just so you know that if you need gold, this is how you do it, by the way. If you need gold quickly. and you don't want to actually farm it.
And then, but it costs you, but it
still has to cost you
effectively
something.
costs, it sort of needs to cost you something. So we just have to make sure we're getting that right. So when we do it, it'll, we're going to have to be very careful around that stuff for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, even if it was just kind of like you can only really like realistically do a couple items a day, then it's not your bulk trading kind of method.
Can be,
it
yeah,
exists
something like
alongside the existing one or something like that. That could be a prototype for it. So it seems like it feels.
If that would be the case, that wouldn't completely kill the normal trading system, which is also a good scenario for them. You have the auction house, people shock the fuck up about the auction house. They trade a couple of items a day with gold. But if they want to keep going, they can use the normal current system that we have right now and they can coexist, right? You don't need to kill the current system if you go that way. So that if people want to keep trading, they can just trade normally, right? After they are emptied from gold or whatever the fuck. What I will do is I will do what I am saying. I buy gold and I keep trading for the auction house. And by buying gold, you get 20, 30, 40 exalteds. I don't remember the price, but it is not expensive. You get 40 maybe it goes up if an auction house exists. You give a bunch of exalteds to a dude, he gives you a bunch of rares, you sell the rares to the vendor and you get a bunch of gold.
It's possible now, whereas before it was like no way, never. That's crazy.
It is possible now for sure. It is possible.
Which is it's just I'm excited to see what you do to experiment with that. Mark seems keen.
Won't be too far away, I think.
Bloody AFK people.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna. pretty sure we're gonna prototype it in PoE2 first.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But my fear is that he says we will prototype it in PoE2 first. To me, that is awesome. That is a way to go. But the way he's wording this, it sounds to me like they are going to prototype it like 1 year into the future. Like they are not thinking about doing that right now. They are focused on the acts in the campaign, and they are focused on the classes, and we don't know what we are going to do regarding trading. Dude, I know that you guys think this is not as important. Trading is really fucking important. This is like one of top 3 problems in the fucking game. Do this. Please, brother, just fix fucking trading, dude. People will have more fun if you fix the fucking trading. The player retention is going to go up if you fix the fucking trading.
Where we've got, a bit more leeway there.
Like you said. I mean, that shows a bit of like a love and sanctity to Path of Exile 1 there for the people maybe concerned that you don't care about it.
Right. So I guess so, yeah.
And just one more note. And all you people who are listing items...
Here he goes, rant time.
And then you're not even AFK, you're in a map, and you're just not replying.
Don't list it for that price if you don't want to sell it.
Dude, he's feeling our pain. And you know why they do it? Because they don't want to go out of their map to sell the shit. They are evaluating the opportunity cost. I am in a map. I am doing whatever the fuck I am doing in here. And this dude is whispering me to buy something for 2 chaos or for 1 chaos. I am not going to stop doing what I am doing. Fuck that. He can go fuck himself. I am going to keep doing my map. That is what happened in the opportunity cost. Some people can't be bothered for cheap bullshit. Yes, you can say, oh, that is on them. They shouldn't have listed it for that price. I know, but that is something intrinsic about this system. If there was an instant buyout, it doesn't matter. You buy the item, you get it. The seller doesn't have to go out of the map. In fact, that is one of the biggest weaknesses of this system, that you have to go out of the map. It happens to me. I am doing something like a lab or a heist that you can't go out because you have to escape the heist. And someone whispers to you to buy an item. I want to sell you the item, but I am finishing the heist. When I actually finish the heist and I invite them, they no longer want to trade with me because they already traded with someone else, and I lose a trade that I wanted to sell something. Like, it is a stupid, in whatever way you look at it, with a stupid system. Dude, fix it. And Mark is feeling the pain too. He's telling you, don't post something if you don't intend to sell it. And post it for the correct price so you sell it. But you are seeing why this is a stupid, Mark. Fix it. If you are feeling the pain that we are feeling, then you know that this needs to be fixed, dude. This needs to be fixed, dude. Bro's about to crash out. Brother, because it pisses me off. You don't know the amount of trades that I have lost because of this. Both ways. When buying and when selling. It is so stupid, dude. And this happens in PoE 1 and it happens in PoE 2. This is something that affects both games. By the way, it doesn't matter if you are a PoE 1 player, a PoE 2 player, if you play both games. This affects both games. I play both games, so I am suffering this bullshit trading system in both games. No, dude. Just fix it, dude. Just fix it. Plus, you have all the people that put the price at 1 chaos just to try to cut the price down, price fix, or whatever the fuck. I don't know why they actually do it, but they are never intending to actually sell the item. So you waste your time whispering them. If there was an instant buyout system, they get fucked in the ass. They can't do this anymore because the item gets instantly bought. So yes, like, dude, there are so many things that you would mitigate. I understand they are worried about ruining the economy or trivializing the game because it would be too cheap, too fast, too easy to trade for better gear. People like having fun, dude. Don't make people not have fun. You can restrict the system somehow with gold. You can also restrict it in another way, like you have to do a quest to open the auction house. Or every time you want a trade, you have to do certain thing. You can limit it in a bunch of ways if you want to add friction. But the current friction you are adding sucks dick. Maybe to get to the currency exchange, you have to do a map and you have to kill a bunch of monsters to actually get there. So every time that you have to do a trade, you have to kill monsters. Yes, this sounds stupid, but it is a friction that is less stupid than the one you have right now. I don't know. I am just throwing ideas into the air just to try to tell them that the current system sucks and you can come up with something better for sure. It's not that bad. It is the worst trading system I have ever seen in my life. If I could take a fucking pigeon and put the item in the legs of the pigeon and it goes flying to the house of the dude to get him the item, it is better than this fucking system that we have. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a clown? Am I a genius? Let me know everything in the comments below. I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. God bless ya. And remember, don't be afraid ever because this is just a ride.